Welcome, baseball fans, another Thursday episode here of the Payoff Pitch, where we're live every single day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. He is the Hockey Squirrel. I am Jason, and we're powered every day by BetUS, a fantastic sportsbook. Down in this video description, you can find a link. Jump on over there and see how great they are. Great sign-up bonuses, and you can use that cryptocurrency if that's your thing. We've, as we said on yesterday's show, small slate in baseball, only 8 games. So we're going to ditch the menu there on the left-hand side that you guys are normally accustomed to. We'll just kind of run through all 8 games, give you guys, maybe some games we give you guys bets, maybe some games we give you guys leans, but we will talk over, under, money line, run line, and at least in every single game. But that being said, we love getting the opening thoughts. We normally call it quick hits. Let's call it quick hits still. What are your opening thoughts there, Squirrel?
Well, you know how it takes so long and so much effort to build units, and then you can lose them like that.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. So I spent all last month building up to 11 units of profit, and then the last 3 days of the month. So I was up 11 units, and then I guess the 28th, 29th, or no, 29th, 30th, 31st? There's 31 days, whatever. The last 3 days of the month. I've lost all 3 in a row. And that's just going 0-2 and 0-2 and 0-2. You know, it's not crazy where, I could have gone 0-5 in one day. You know, I've gone 0-6 in a day, and those suck just as well. I think psychologically it hurts a little more, feels different to lose 3 days in a row than it does to just go 0-5 in one day. Either way, though, I mean, you remember I had a 0-5 day. It was August 14th that last happened to me. And this is kind of the same. You know, you go 0 for 3 days in a row, basically. So I ended the month up 5.5 units instead of 11, or expanding upon that. So it was still a profitable month by 5.5, but it just sucks when you had 11 and, it slipped a little. So we start a new month, September 1st, and I kind of feel bored with it, with baseball. Like, I don't know a lot of these pitchers, or I don't know, like the value is not there. It's just crazy juice. I mean, you look at, like, I'm not going to really sit here and go minus 400 on the Braves, dude,
Right.
It's just tough. Like, who the hell is Daniel Mengen? Who's Ken Waldachuk?
Look forward to talking about those guys here on the show. We'll certainly get on into it. Hey, man, sometimes you got to have a little suffer to make maybe the highs feel that much higher. We've all been there. You turned a profit. That's good stuff. Let's keep that going. I know you can do it. And what, you got hockey in 23 days? Is that what we're up to?
Yeah, for preseason, yes.
Preseason, right?
I think the regular season starts October 8th or 10th, something like that.
All right, I got 3 things to get after here in my quick hits. 3-2 day yesterday. We pulled in some profit. Love to see that yesterday, pulling in some profit. We hit all of our overs. What did we miss? The player props. I'm going to do everybody a favor watching this broadcast. You guys know normally when we get to 5th inning, keep swinging. Talked about how hot we've been doing, finding guys who dropping a parlay, calling out home run props, all that. I go and tail 2 of them yesterday. It seems like whenever I tail that category, the 5th inning, keep swinging, we swing and miss. So I'm done. I'm going to do everybody a favor. I'll keep giving out the bets. I'll, of course, keep grinding and researching, and that'll never stop. But I'm no longer going to bet that, because I'm here to help you guys. I'm going to lay off on betting that. Something's crazy happening that whenever I decide to tail that, those bets lose. That being said, my last thing I want to get to here before we jump into these games is there's going to be no show tomorrow. My son has a school obligation to get to, so there will be no payoff pitch tomorrow. That being said, on this YouTube channel, I will be doing a show. I will talk baseball, I will talk NASCAR, and I will talk soccer. So if that is of interest to you, we'll do that late morning as I get home from my son's school thing. But that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into these games. We'll, of course, take them in order in which they come today on the slate. So with that being said, let's do it. Let's talk Tigers-Mariners.
Yeah.
How are you seeing this one shaking out, Hockey Squirrel?
Well, just before I start here, I want to give a welcome here to Rhino in the chat. First timer tuning in, he says. So
yes, sir. Bet on it, guy.
Got a new guy here. So welcome, Rhino. And I can't really look at this any other way than just, the obvious take Logan Gilbert and the Mariners. I think there's some games where you just don't overthink it. I think this is just one of them.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I think you said Detroit had been hitting lefties, if I remember right.
Yeah, we cashed it again yesterday, of course. Best bet of the day.
You get Logan Gilbert, who is a righty, though, at least.
Yep.
So not particularly in their favor. I don't know. What else do you really do with it?
Well, if you look at the hitting numbers, at least in the last 10 days, the Tigers, while they don't hit right-handers very well, they're actually hitting right-handers better than the Mariners are hitting left-handers. The things that scared me about the Mariners not having good numbers right now against left-handers is they only have 44 plate appearances in those last 10 days, and that's a very low sample size. So how real is that sample size? The sample size is real, but I guess I should say how real are those numbers? So that makes me nervous. But just based on raw numbers, the Tigers should have an offensive advantage. You've mentioned the starting pitching advantage, or the starting pitchers, Gilbert versus Rodriguez. I think it's kind of a push. I think within that game, you can look at Gilbert over 4.5 Ks because the Tigers strike out a lot versus right-handed pitching. So I think Gilbert goes over 4.5 Ks. Bullpen-wise, both of these teams sit in the bottom half of the league with no real advantage in the bullpens. Well, if you guys want to look at maybe one guy that can do some damage with a bat in his hand, look at Mitch Haniger. He's hitting 333 off of Rodriguez with 3 doubles in those 7 hits. So I like Mitch Haniger to maybe do some damage. My leans in this game is I'm going to lean under 7.5. Because both these offenses are generally struggling. I think that carries over into the bullpen. So I'll lean under. I'm also leaning Tigers money line because I am going to take that better offense, but with not a whole lot of confidence because the Mariners only have 44 plate appearances against left-handed pitching. So I lean Tigers, but not a whole hell of a lot of confidence in that. So give me under 7.5 and give me the Tigers money line today.
Yeah. You have to also look at from my side of things. If I'm going to take the Mariners, an easy conversion minus 150 is about 60% implied odds, and I don't know how much higher I'd really expect them to win at. So again, this is that case of your value is fairly stripped. I mean, if I were getting the Mariners at a minus 130, I'd feel way more comfortable with it than a minus 150, just due to the implied odds. But I think the Mariners win. It's just how much value are you getting? And I don't really feel like I'm getting it.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to find value this time of the year. All right, let's move over now to White Sox versus Royals. I'll kick it off here. Huge hitting advantage is going to go to those Chicago White Sox today in this one. And to go along with that hitting advantage, they're going to get a big bullpen advantage. Squirrel has mentioned how those Royals have been terrible from the bullpen. They remain terrible, bottom 3 in the league. So you're getting the big offensive advantage. You're getting the big bullpen advantage. Let's talk about these starters, though. I think the advantage does go to Cueto because we know what we're going to get from Cueto. What are we calling this guy? Megden? Mingden? Whatever it is.
Whatever.
It's going to be a bullpen. It's going to be a bullpen day for this guy because he was out all of 2021, presumably with an injury. He's only coming in 4 appearances, couple innings. Last outing was 2 outings. So it's a bullpen day for the Mariners. That excites me if I'm a White Sox backer because we know how terrible the Royals bullpen is, but also scares me because maybe a guy's only going to be pitching an inning or 2 and then he's out of there. So I'm going to lean under 9. I think that Royals bullpen will shove for a little bit. The guys will step up and they'll get it done, but I'm going to lean White Sox run line. They'll cover the run line while staying under 9 runs. So I'll do under 9 and run line. What about for you?
Yeah, I would think White Sox run line and I like Strider's mustache. I don't like this guy's mustache. I'm just looking at the picture that's on his profile here. He's got some weird looking facial hair. I don't know. Usually there's power in the stash, but with as it relates to Nestor Cortez and Strider, I'm not sure how that'll work out for this guy. Yeah, as he mentioned, though, his last outing, only 2 innings pitched. Do they give him maybe a bit of a longer leash today, being that their record's kind of trash? Do they? I don't know. Or is he just a 1-2 inning guy? I don't know. I don't know what to really expect here, I guess, from the Kansas City Royals. But either way, I don't expect much. I mean, even if he only does pitch an inning or 2, nothing out of that bullpen is gonna probably do significantly better. So, Does that lead us to a total? I like Cueto, though. So if the pitching was any worse, I might entertain a total on an over, but I don't know if we see 10 runs.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I would probably just take the White Sox on the run line. It would be the only viable option, but again, it's just tough to find value.
Okay. All right, let's move it over now. We've got another afternoon game. We've got Athletics taking on the Nationals. Do you want to kick it off, or do you want me to?
Sure, the Oakland and Nationals. Yeah. I don't know anything about Ken Waldichuk. MLB debut, looks like.
Yep.
I know Espino, at least.
Okay.
I don't know, what is it, minus 110 on each side?
It's been like that the first 2 days. I'm not sure what it is now.
It still is, minus 110, minus 110.
That's the way that series is played out, too. Yeah, been pretty close.
You get Nationals as the home team, a pitcher that I at least recognize, and I don't know, if I'm going to go against something, it's most likely going to be an MLB debut. I mean, these are two teams where, again, I don't know, are people really betting on this too? Like are people out there like on a game where it means nothing? Like, can we just skip this? Like,
no, we can. I got a bet in this game. We'll, of course, give our bets at the end of the show, the official bets, the ones that we've actually got our money behind. I put my money on this game.
Okay. What do you have?
Well, first of all, let's talk about this pitcher here, Ken Waldichuk. We'll go ahead and call him. Yeah. 95 innings pitched in the minor leagues, 137 Ks. Love that. 2.84 ERA, a 1.16 WHIP. Left-hander that stands 6'4". That's why he's got good strikeout numbers. I bet that arm trajectory, we haven't seen it. We'll get a good look at it this afternoon for the first time, but he's probably got a nice, good downward plane angle from that nice lefty side, 6'4". Nats only hit 200. They hit 226 versus left-handed pitching. You've mentioned Espino was a bullpen guy. Now he's a starter, and you see in his starts, because he's a bullpen guy, he has success earlier on, and then he starts to get hit as the game wears on, and they leave him out there for innings 4 or 5. So I think the NRFI looks absolutely good in this game because Espino will do well in the first inning. Neither team is hitting the ball very well. And then I'll take Waldichuk. No familiarity, obviously. Big, tall kid, 6'4" from the left-hand side. I love the NRFI in this game at minus 110, so I'll bet that one. Let's see. Both of these.
I really like that too. I'll hop on that.
Hell yeah,
before I would be taking like a money line or anything. I mean, again, that's kind of what freaks me out about it is I have nothing to go off of, and I'm not going to say that the minors translate to the big leagues, and they generally don't. When I have watched NHL and I see debut goalies, it's just a totally different quality of shot coming at you. It's a totally different quality of batter that the pitcher has to deal with. Not sure how it translates. I mean, you could have a fantastic outing. I just don't know anything about him whatsoever. I don't really have interest in betting on something that I don't have information on.
All right, you got to give these guys, though, an under and a money line lean. What are you leaning? I'm leaning under 8. I'm leaning under 8. I'm going to fade both terrible offenses. And I like the Athletics to go ahead and get it done today. What about you?
Yeah, I don't want to pick a side. I like the under. I do like that NRFI that you brought up. So those are two things that I would actually bet. I don't expect much out of the bats from either offense. I mean, Washington's lost a lot, obviously, this year. I don't think either team hits well. So.
All right, cool. Let's move it along now. One more afternoon game today, and it's the Mets and the Dodgers. Boy, we've been talking this series. We've been talking the unders. For game 1, we were on the right side. We were on the Dodgers. They didn't get it done again in game 2. I'm going to stick with the theme of it's going to be an under. I absolutely see an under. Kershaw coming off of the DL. Expect him to be the veteran. He'll know what to do. Not going to be a rush. He's a veteran. He's not worried about him. If one of these two pitchers I'm worried about, it's definitely Bassett. Dodgers right now are good versus right-handed pitching. I'd be more nervous about that. The Mets still aren't hitting left-handers very well. There's a reason why we didn't play them yesterday against Tyler Anderson. I'm going to lean under 7.5, and I'm going to take the Dodgers money line today. What about for you?
Yeah, I would take the Dodgers money line, as I'm predominantly a money line player, and this is finally of the games in this slate is one of the places I think I would do so. Yesterday, You got the Dodgers at a plus 140, which, on a 1-2 game is fairly close. I mean, as close as you're going to get anyway. Yeah, I mean, low scoring again. You got the juice to the under with 7.5. However, I just don't think it's a ton to pay for a minus 130 or minus 135 with Kershaw. I would go ahead and back the Dodgers here today. Just what I would do.
All right, love to see it right there. All right, let's move it over to what's probably going to be the easiest game today. Orioles Guardians, probably the easiest bet on the board here today. Squirrel, you got what do we got? Bradish taking on Bieber. Do I need to say any more? Do I need to say any more with Shane Bieber? I'm pulling up my phone here because I've got his player card right here. All right, both these offenses, though, are absolutely struggling. Remember, guys, yesterday I gave you the NRFI in this game. We talked about how the offenses are struggling. That NRFI cash, they're still struggling. These teams are hitting 185 and 193. That's 28th and 30th in the league, and they're bringing no power to the plate right now are these two teams. Bullpen, massive, massive advantage for the Guardians. They remain one of the best in the league, so you got to tip your cap and say that the Guardians have the full-on pitching advantage. They get starter and bullpen advantage. It's everything to love about Shane Bieber. So much to love about Shane Bieber. I like his outs prop. Look, he's gone his last 4 outings. He's gone 7, 6.1, 7, 7. You want to move through the month of July. I see a 7, 9. You move on through a 7, a 6.1, a 6.2, a 7. We know Shane Bieber. This guy's going to give you absolute length. He knows how to pitch the batters using contact, keeps his pitch count down. I love everything about Bieber today. I'll take under 7.5 runs with the offensive strugglings, and I'll take Guardians on the run line today.
A thing that would scare you, I guess, not you, me, I guess. A thing that would scare me is that the Guardians were shut out yesterday, and generally, systematically, historically, teams rebound from that extremely, extremely well. I do have a system somewhere in my repository here of, let me see if I can find it, because I gave it out for free, just to anyone on my Facebook group. If I can find it here.
You gave out the repository or you gave out the play? What are you talking
about? The system, the actual system. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a really good one, and it had a really good cash rate, but now I have to find it. It was...
I mean, it sounds like your system is going to back the Guardians today, right? Because they're coming off.
It does, but
and
if you think about it, how did you take them? I was kind of in my own world over here, but
how did that what?
How did you take them? Money line?
You got to wait till the end of the show, my man, to get my official bets. If you want to know how I bet that game, I lean the under and I lean Guardians run line. Maybe one of those are the official bet, or maybe it's something within that game. Got to stay till the end of the show.
Okay. Yes, it does back it, but not on the money line at a minus 180. I think it may be a little bit too much. It would be more minus 155, not minus 180. I bet
the Orioles are today the team that gets shut out. I don't think they score 1 run today. I think they get absolutely shut out. I would sprinkle a little bit.
I disagree with that, but that's right.
They're getting shut out today. All right, you want to move on to the next game?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk these Rangers and Red Sox. Boy, 2 offenses that are coming in right now smoking. Rangers are hot right now versus left-handers. Hell, we know that. We cashed that bet the other night against Valdez. 288 average, 519 slugging, 853 OPS, and they do not strike out at 16.2%. Red Sox hot right now versus right-handers. 297 average. They strike out a little bit at 25.7. But 2 really good offenses. Rich Hill versus Glenn Otto. Nothing special for me from either one of these guys. Either one could pitch good. Either one could get absolutely rocked. 2 so-so. I'm not worried about that. The only angle I would look in terms of maybe a prop in this game is taking Rich Hill under his Ks, because the Rangers, again, they're only striking out at 16.2%. So I would look at Rich Hill staying under his strikeout prop. There's a loser right there in our tennis bet. I hate to see that right there. The Rangers, if you want to look at maybe who can win this game, Rangers have the better bullpen from ERA, WHIP, opponent's batting average, FIP, and BABIP. Rangers are better across the board at every single stat. So I'm going to lean over 9. I'm going to lean Rangers on the money line. I do have an official bet from this game a little bit later.
Rangers money line is the best underdog on the entire day as far as I'm concerned. Actually even have a crazy underdog system, very limited sample size though for this year, particularly in 2022. 17 wins, 11 losses. So not very many games have actually been played in that criteria. On the run line for that sample size, however, 20 wins, 8 losses to cover the run line. So that would be a +1.5. So at the very least, I would be expecting from that system a close game.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to find the other.
I agree. Close game, a lot of runs. I would agree.
The other one I have is a much larger sample size over the 2022 season with 114 wins, 131 losses for 46.5%. The ROI on that over that sample size is 15.5%, or being up $3,800 as a $100 better. So systematically, that is the best one to go along with all the stats that you've already covered. I do believe the money is all over the Rangers as well. About 40% of bets, 80% of the money on the Rangers. So that is for sure the side you want to be on, and very much so one of my official bets will be the Texas Rangers there. I did find that system, by the way, that I was going to give out to people.
Sweet.
It is pretty simple. I mean, it's something that you don't need a computer for or anything like that. If a team was shut out, so obviously under 1 run, and in their previous game, so the last game that they played, which fits the Guardians, and today their line is greater than -120. That's the whole system. Comes in 64 and 38, so 62.7% in the 2022 season. However, the ROI is not incredibly great because it puts an average line of -162, which is why I said, at a -185 price, that still doesn't cover, right? Your expectation is 62%, and your implied odds from the book is way higher than that at -180. That's why on the money line, it's not great. Run line is only hitting 44%, so even that's not statistically really great. I don't know. I mean, do they win? Sure, but is it valuable in a long-term setting? I don't think so. That's just me.
Well, all right, cool. Let's go ahead and move it over to another game that's probably pretty easy to break down, and one that I think a lot of people are hurting off yesterday, that Braves bullpen letting people down. But boy, has this series been low scoring between the Rockies and Braves. Both games have been 3-2. Well, we talked about that. Both offenses right now are about middle of the pack. So not too surprising. I mean, low scoring for sure. What are we thinking today, though, with Chad Kuhl versus Spencer Strider? Obviously, most people sign me up for Strider all day long over Chad Kuhl. You could probably look at over his strikeout prop. That's probably a nice angle. The bullpen edge goes to the Rockies. I think that's why you're seeing this game being close, a 3-2 and a 3-2 game, because both of these two teams are bringing a nice bullpen into this series. But the edge slightly does go to the Rockies. I say you either bet on the Braves to wake up from a team total perspective, or you don't do anything. Because, again, when you start talking juice this high, it just doesn't move the needle to jump it in a parlay. You're jumping in a -350. You're not moving the needle enough on your return on your investment. So you either do a Braves team total because you think they're going to hit Cool, or you probably just stay away from this game. That being said, I'm going to take over 8. I love the over in game 3s. I think these offenses can get it done. And I lean, sure, of course I lean Braves money line, Braves run line, whatever you want to do. But I wouldn't actually put it in any parlay.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of value at -400 there. No, I'm kidding. Dude, oh my God. I don't know how you could ever actually bet that. Do you imagine -400 straight up on a money line? $400 to win $100.
I'm not doing that with not professional athletes all across the board. There's no way I'm touching that bet.
No way in hell.
No way in hell I'm touching that bet.
But I see no reason to take an underdog of the Rockies against Strider and the Braves at all.
No, thank you.
What the hell do you do?
You'd probably take Strider over his Ks. If you want to take the Braves team total, though, you're definitely reaching because the stats don't justify it. Again, I just talked about how the offenses are struggling. So maybe you just take Strider and say, you know what, I'm going to strike out some Rockies, or you just don't even touch that game.
Yep. That's the analysis there.
Those bullpens make it too close for me. And again, the edge goes to the Rockies for me to really say bet the Braves. And again, it's 3-2, 3-2. The bullpen's coming to the series really good, so I'll go ahead and stay away from that. All right, let's go ahead and do the last game here. We're seeing Brewers take on the Diamondbacks. I've got a bet in this game that I've already watched other people's videos this morning. I know what bets are being out there. I'm got a contrarian bet, as the kids like to say, because most people are on the under on this game. I like the over. We like the over the past 3 nights between the Diamondbacks games against the Phillies. Why would you not like them today? Both teams are in the top 5 or top 10 across the board in offense versus right-handed pitching, 272 and 278 for a batting average, 456 and 437 from slugging, and OPS is 813 and 788. The Diamondbacks are not striking out right now. They're just doing really good at only 16%, so we love teams that make contact. So you can look at Woodruff under 6.5 Ks. That's a lot of juice. There's a reason it's a lot of juice because the Diamondbacks aren't striking out, but it has cashed in 3 of his last 5 games. Let's talk about Woodruff versus Kelly. I'm going to give the edge to nobody here. I'm going to give the edge to nobody. And the reason I'm going to give the edge is I think both of these guys are capable. But if I look at what these guys have done in the month of August, they both got 5 starts. They both had 1 outing where they pitched clean. They had a shutout. But otherwise, they gave up 2, 3, or 4 runs in those other ones. So their Augusts was basically the same. I think these pitchers are kind of the same. So no real advantage to me there. Bullpen-wise, both of them in the bottom 10 of the league, with the Diamondbacks being worse than the Brewers. But, again, they're both bottom 10 of the league. So I'm going over 7.5 runs. Again, that's a contrarian bet, and I'll take the Brewers. If I had to pick a winner, I will take the Brewers to win the game. What about for you?
If you're going to give an edge to nobody, again, where the hell is your value in any of these games? Plus 115. Like, is there enough there for the Diamondbacks? No. To me, it just doesn't feel like there is quite enough. I see some limited, what they call sharp action on the Diamondbacks, I think. I don't know. What the hell do you do? I mean, really, the best bet, in my opinion, today for the whole day, I'll go with one single bet. It's the Texas Rangers. I'm going to skip the Diamondbacks. I don't know. There's just...
Okay.
It's shit for value. There just really isn't much. So when I look back, I can't take the Mariners. Maybe a White Sox run line for real. Maybe a NRFI in the Athletics Nationals.
Hold on. You said only one bet, but you tailed my NRFI, right?
Yeah, but
no, I know what you mean.
Okay, 5,000 bets then. Don't worry about it. These are the when I cap a game, let me maybe just, for somebody out there that's like, how the hell do I go about the process of handicapping a game, right? I would do something like me and Jason just did. I would go through kind of the general overview of topically what each game looks like, find points of interest, and then dive deeper into those points of interest. So the points of interest are going to be a White Sox run line, right? It's going to be a NRFI on the Athletics Nationals. It's going to be the Dodgers, and the Rangers I don't really have to dive too much into because there's just too much value already in the way that the line was set compared to what I have systematically, where the money distribution is, my expectations for that game versus the implied probability. So that's an official bet for me. But if you're looking at additional points of interest, there you go. It's not parlaying minus 400s. It's not taking minute shreds of value. There are people out there that bet extremely high volume, right? 15, 20, 30, 40 games in a day somehow. And what the aim there is to take a high amount of tiny shreds of value, perceived value. I'm not that way. I play low volume. I'll take 3 games with the highest discrepancies, the largest amount of value. Because generally on those 3 games, I come out, if not better, pretty equal to a person that's betting 20 games a day or more. And I've tested that year after year after year. I've tested it. I've done it myself. And that's just truthfully what works the best off of personal experience. But Rangers is the best play if you're looking for not only value, but also just a likely to win game.
I think it's good. I like that as well. All right, so I don't have your bets to share here on the screen. So that's Rangers money
It's
line.
the Texas Rangers. It's
Okay.
the Texas Rangers, and that's all I'll give out today.
All right, here are my bets. They're on the left-hand side of the screen. I'm, of course, rolling with that NRFI and the Athletics in the Nationals game. I'm rolling with the Rangers F5 team total. And I'm going to roll with Brewers Diamondbacks. I said I like the over, but you guys know how I like to approach overs. I like the F5 over. So I'll take the F5 over, 3.5 at minus 115. And Shane Bieber is going to steal today against an Orioles offense that can't hit their way out of a wet paper bag. And you're like the Guardians. I think they're also going to put up. So there we go. I'll take Shane Bieber to have over 18.5 outs recorded at a good plus 128. That's how we'll do it. Again, guys, no show tomorrow, but I will have a show on my YouTube channel late morning where we'll talk NASCAR, soccer, and I'll kind of do payoff pitch. I assume I'm going to be alone because I'm doing soccer and NASCAR, and that's not squirrels per thing. So I'll probably be alone tomorrow, but I'll do something very similar to payoff pitch and give you guys pitching and hitting props and overs and unders and all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys a little bit later tomorrow on late morning. And, yeah, good luck with your bets today, fellas. Let's cash. Have yourself a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll set up money-making weekend for you guys.
Great. See you later.